Morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome if you're new. And for those of you who never left all summer, we're glad to have you all summer and all year. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to kick off these meetings and to kick off this school year. What a wonderful year is in front of us, and I'm excited to talk to you about that today. Up here you see members of our wonderful cabinet who will also speak to you today. Mary Jo is hating that she is up here. For those of you who know Mary Jo, she hates it. She's filling in for Marvin, who is in Hawaii. We feel so bad for him today. We have Todd Brown, who's our interim athletic director. Todd, thanks for taking the interim role. Vice President Jared Tippett over Student Affairs. Vice President Stuart Jones over Enrollment and Advancement. And John Anderson, our Provost. You're doing something right if you get that sort of reaction. Oh, fabulous. There's a rowdy crowd right here. I love it. We have a number of new faculty and staff among us today. I know that the academic side has done tremendous work getting 61 new faculty members here. For the new faculty and staff, I would love for you to stand up and receive a wonderful T-Bird welcome. Welcome to the T-Bird family, and you have a whole year to figure out what that means. And we have our friends from Southwest Tech and our colleagues from Southwest Tech here. Will you please stand and be recognized? This is a very important partnership for us, and we're even going deeper into the partnership with exploring some shared services. So we're excited to have you here, President Wood and your team. Thanks for joining us today. Let's get into the matters at hand. First of all, I want to say thank you for trusting me in this position. It's surreal. A year ago, when I was 3 weeks into this position and giving this, I was saying never in a million years, and I was scared to death to be here. Well, guess what? I'm still scared to be here, but you trusted me in this role. So thank you for your support. Thank you for bringing everything you had to last year and making everything successful, the whole year successful for all of us. Thank you for being part of that team, and I look forward to many, many more years together. I'm excited, and I know I've heard this from a lot of you. We're tired of being in a state of flux and trying to figure out, are we or aren't we, and where are we going? We are, and we know, and we're headed a direction, and we'll talk through some of that today. So thank you for your patience, and a big thank you to the Presidential Search Committee and all those that worked so hard for so long to get this here. Last year I said I'd be in this position 3 to 6 months at this meeting, and that was a year ago, and now I'm in this for years. So bring it on, right? We have a lot happening this year. We're celebrating our 125th anniversary, in case you haven't seen that around or been part of the celebrations. There is a lot going on and a lot still to come with the 125th. Part of the homecoming celebration and part of inauguration will be part of the 125th. You'll see quite a bit, and the fun swag that you get today will mark the 125th. It is not lost on me, on all of those who have come before in our 125 years. I think of all the students and faculty and staff and emeriti and those who worked so hard to make SUU the great place it is for us today. And I want to celebrate all of them and their legacy. I feel compelled to carry that legacy on, and I feel compelled to make SUU the best place that it can be for all of you and for all of us. So the 125th is particularly poignant to me, and it drives a lot of what I do. You'll see some of that this year and you'll understand more. There's quite a few things coming up. Carol on Tradition. The Staff Association, which Jason may talk about this, is doing the Smart Start, and they're still looking for people to sign up, so please jump in and join that. Classes, who has your syllabus done yet? Yeah, same. Just note that I'm also working on mine, and that may happen Wednesday night. Ooh, we'll see, we're working on it. Homecoming and inauguration. Forever Red plans to be a pretty epic party. One Utah Summit, the Summit on Belonging, and let's talk about the holiday closure. We are going to close campus again this year between Christmas and New Year's. Yay! We recognized last year how good that was for all of us, because since campus was closed, no one sent an email or got a phone call. And it made a big difference in being able to walk away for the holidays. So campus will be closed. The inauguration we touched on, it'll be 3 p.m. in this arena on September 23rd. And you are all invited, all faculty and staff are invited to walk in the processional. So please join us, but we need you to RSVP. So we know how many robes are needed and how many seats we need. So please join us and please RSVP. There's instructions right there. Join us. One of the biggest questions that I get all the dang time, are you moving in the house? When are you moving in the house? Why do you all care? I don't know, but I hear that every darn day. So I'm going to put all the rumors to rest here. Deal? I'm not moving in the house. While I love this and it's beautiful, as a single woman without children running around to cause a distraction, I don't love everyone knowing exactly where I live and what room's my bedroom and what time I'm home and what time I get up and if I'm home or if I'm... And the thought of being out working in my flowers and people stopping by it all day and time of the day and night while I'm in my red Crocs, which I do have red Crocs, Heather. It's unnerving to me to think of that. So while I love this and I'm grateful that we have this, it's not for me. So I am going to, we're exploring a number of different options. We want the university residents to be hopeful for all of campus and useful for all of campus. We're exploring different ideas and we've talked to faculty, staff on these. If you have ideas, send them. What I think it will end up being is a university guest house, maybe run by our HRHM students. So I just surprised the faculty in that. I think it would be a great project for them, and when you have visiting scholars or people coming to campus to speak or to visit, this could be a great place for them. We'll explore more options and what is most cost effective, but now you know the answer. I want you to think about this question as we get into this discussion today. What is your why? Why are you here? Why do you love SUU? And what do you love most about SUU that is important for me to know and to carry on? I want you to think about those things as we talk today and as you start your opening meetings and as our students come back. What is your why? I'll share some of what my why is, why I applied for this position, why I'm here, and what I hope to accomplish through this today. The first thing of what's my why is I love this university. It was transformative to me as a student, and I hope it's transformative to all of our students. But more importantly, I hope it's transformative to all of you. I hope you have experiences here that change you and help you grow and help you love working here. I want it to be that kind of place for all of us. I also am here because I think we can make a difference. I think we can make a difference in the lives of our students and each other And I wanted to be here to serve side by side with all of you. I cherish the relationships and I cherish the opportunities that we have to serve together. So I am here to advocate for you and to serve you. As I interviewed for this position, I thought about this a lot. And I thought, this has not been the ambition of my life, but it certainly is the honor of my lifetime. So as we go through this today, let's talk about what is in this presentation is what I've heard you say we need to know. We want to know what's next. We want to know where we're going, and we want to know that we're in a stable place and moving forward, not just this, are we, aren't we, what are we doing, where are we going? So we are going to define some of that for you today. But some of it, I want open-ended because I want you to be part of it, and we'll talk about that. The what's next. I love the leadership principle by Jim Collins. Always think first about who and then about what. So who I want on my bus and then what we're going to do. And that was important to me and has driven many decisions that we're making and will make. But the who is important. So I started with the who, and I want to announce today that I have invited the athletic director. Now, I've invited Danica Sewerbill to be on cabinet. Danica, will you come up and take your place? Danica will speak to us later today, and I'm not sure she's happy about that piece of it, but welcome to Cabinet, Danica. We're honored and happy to have you as part of this. Second, an update on the athletic director. Todd is the interim. We are launching a national search for the athletic director. We have met with the head coaches, and we've met with the athletic staff. We will meet next with the Student Athletic Council and student athletes to determine what they need in an athletic director. We are also going to have an open forum with faculty, staff, students, donors, alumni. Anybody who's interested can weigh in on this. Once we have gone through that process, we will put out a job description and enter a national search for the athletic director. We hope to have somebody in place by the end of fall. President's Council. This is the cabinet. I think I need to start with explaining what the difference is. This is our cabinet, and we meet regularly, and they inform and talk through, and they all have their own divisions that they're over. President's Council is the larger body, and we meet once a month, and it's a terrific group of leaders. That group mainly tackles policy, and it has been a smaller group. I want to expand President's Council tremendously, and you'll see that in just a second. And I want us to tackle the issues of campus. I want President's Council to be a recommending body of what your areas are talking about and what you need to cabinet. So with that in mind, here is what President's Council has been. We're changing it to President's Leadership Council, and this is who it will be. There's a few people that I didn't get called last night, so if you see your name, surprise. But I think I got everybody covered on this, and you'll see that we've included every one of the academic deans. We have associate provost, budget, chief diversity officer, chief of police. You can see the list, but it is much more comprehensive of our entire campus, and I want us to work through the issues that our campus is facing. So you have a voice with this group. You all know somebody on this group. Make sure that they are informed. Where are we going? Where is SUU headed? Well, as you all know, my leadership philosophy is people support what they help to create. So I'm not going to stand up here today and say we have a shared vision and here's exactly what it is. I want you to help create that shared vision. We'll talk about some things today, and I'll go through some pieces that are important to me and pieces that you probably heard all during the interview process. And we can weave those in with a vision for campus. I expect to take some time to do that. We are going to start with the Strategic Planning Committee. As you know, there was a tremendous amount of work accomplished last year to get us a comprehensive strategic plan. And then we shelved it when President Wyatt left, because we need to see what's changed. So I have asked Provost Anderson to reconvene the Strategic Planning Committee and see what's missing, what we need to add, what has changed based on a new president, and what direction we want to go. So that's happening, and we're launching that Strategic Planning Committee. Thank you for being willing to do that. Here are the priorities that I told you are important to me and that you will see me focus on that may be included in our strategic plan. They may not, but they're things that I will work on. Preserve our personalized learning environment. That's who SUU is, and that's who we will always be. Access and affordability, and this aligns with the USHE system strategic plan as well. Improve student success. It's always about outcomes for our students. Prioritize diversity, equity, and inclusion. That needs to be a priority from me, not just all of you on the ground doing the work. Campus culture is a big one for me, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but that's something that we launched last year and something that we worked on through the past year. I want to make sure that that continues to be a priority. I want to launch an ambitious fundraising campaign. Stuart, I hope that's not a surprise to you and your team, but it's been a minute since we did the fundraising campaign, and it's time to do that for an endowment, scholarships, capital campaign, you name it, we need to go get it. But I'm going to do a feasibility study for this, and we'll talk about that. Expand our communication and brand locally and nationally and regionally. I think we know who we are. I want everybody to know exactly who we are. I love that we're a hidden gem, and I'm tired of us being the hidden gem. So I want us to shout from the rooftops and know exactly who we are and where we're going. And finally, strengthen community partnerships, like our partnership with Southwest Tech. Continue to go deeper and do what's best for our students and our community. As a regional university, we are here to be an economic driver for our community, and we are here to build our community and serve our students within the region. We're going to do a great job of that. Campus culture, which I mentioned to me, is very important. We launched this last year and we did quite a few things. You got swag, we had some parties, but we couldn't do the permanent things, right? Now we can. One of the things that we accomplished this year, which was very important to the faculty and staff, Faculty Senate and the Staff Association and all of you, was faculty staff child care. We broke ground on this facility on August 10th, and it is a public-private partnership where private industry is building the building. Funshine Child Care is going to provide the child care, and SUU has 50 spots that we can utilize for our faculty and staff. This is the model. If it works, we'll go bigger and be able to do more. So we're excited to be able to do that, and that was a goal that was accomplished. Mental and emotional health. This is really important to me, and we showed that this year in our priorities. Vice President Tippett will talk about a program that we're rolling out to campus, but I still want to work on this. A great example of this, and I don't want me, but this has been compelling to me. I got really sick after the announcement, because I think after the horrendous year that we've had, but it was awesome, right? My body just said, I'm done for a minute. But I kept working. Does this sound familiar to any of you? I pushed through, and I went to all the meetings. I stayed home, but I was online, and I was on all the meetings, and I can see you tapping each other and say you're doing that. And I was sick for 3 weeks, and I finally went to the doctor, and they said, you have pneumonia. Go to bed. Oh, hadn't thought about that. Because during COVID, it's been normal for us to say, I'll push through, and I'll keep working. Friends, that isn't healthy for any of us, and it made me sick for a lot longer because I kept doing that. I want all of us to take care of each other, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I want us to be healthy. We're going to take care of all the aspects of our students and our faculty and staff. Give yourself some space. We have been through a traumatic pandemic that changed lives, and we lost loved ones, and our world shifted. And I think we're all trying to figure out, can we keep going, and what's new, what's the new normal, and where do we go from here? Let's figure that out together, and let's give each other some space that it's okay to be tired, and it's okay to be stressed out. And let's work on this and admit that. It's important to me. This program that VP Tippett and his team was rolling out is really exciting to me, and I won't scoop him, but I'm excited. And a new student health clinic. This is something that the students voted for with their student fees, and we are excited to open in January. This will be a service for our students, and it will be in the Benyon building and an opportunity for them to take care of their health. The Culture Committee, because this is important to me, I have asked Donna Law and Danica to co-chair this Culture Committee. I want to launch a few committees today. You'll see this. We are not standing still. I want you to tell us what you need. I want you to tell us what builds better culture at SUU. And because of that, I'm going to ask Donna and Danica to go bring a comprehensive committee together and decide what changes the culture and what enhances the culture at SUU. Growth. There is a significant amount of questions about enrollment growth and growth on our campus, and Stuart will talk about that specifically. But I have talked about, I want our growth to be balanced, sustainable, and strategic. I want us to be able to grow in a healthy way that keeps us up with the housing, that keeps us up with what faculty can do and workload, and what the infrastructure that we have on campus. Those are all important to me. We have had a cabinet retreat on this, and we will continue talking about this. But I think the most important thing that we can do is launch a strategic enrollment planning committee, which Stuart Jones will chair. And we will reach out to you, and if this is a committee you want to be on, let Stuart know. If you want to be on the culture committee, let Danica or Donna know. But we want to reach out and decide together where we are going with growth. We think that we can manage about 350 to 400 a year with housing, but that still means 2 complexes every year. We think we can manage that with campus, but we need to hear that from you. So we will put that committee together, and we will work together to determine our strategic enrollment plan. I mentioned housing, and I know that has been a concern, and it's a concern for new-coming faculty and staff. Know that we are working with our community, and we're working with the mayor and the city on a housing task force, and we are also working with developers to get new developments in. We know of 2 that are going in and will be ready for the next fall if we can push it. So we are being proactive and going out and seeking these housing developments. We are also launching a facilities master plan committee, and this will be co-chaired by Tiger Funk and Bill Hayborn. Academics and facilities will be represented. We want this to be a rolling master plan so that we can always figure out what our needs are and what the changing needs are as we grow or change or whatever the case may be. So we're launching that committee. If that's the most thrilling committee you've ever thought of and you'd like to be on that, please see Bill and Tiger. We get to plan. There's nothing better than planning, right? I want to talk about resources for a minute, because as we talk about growth and building culture, all of those take some time and money, right? Mary Jo, we're coming to you. We don't have any new money, but I want you to see where our money has gone to, has been allocated. Our university budget, E&G budget, is $126,524,000, right? Mary Jo updated that last night. With auxiliaries and non-E&G, it's over 200 million, but that number is fluid, according to that text. This is where the money was allocated last year. I want you to study that and see where our priorities are. I think we're in a pretty good place with our priorities. We're here to educate our students, but we also have to take care of the other pieces. So that's where our money went to. Mary Jo will talk about the budget process that's upcoming. We also get a great amount of funding from our legislature. For the first time this year, our funding went over 51% for the legislature, 49% through tuition. It's usually been an equal split or tuition has been higher. Our friends at the legislature, our great leaders, have been wonderful to SUU and really supportive of the direction we're going in. Donna Law and Government Relations has done a tremendous job for us on the Hill. We will continue to go ask for those resources, and they will continue to be a big part of our budget. And I talked about launching a fundraising campaign. We aren't just going to randomly choose a number and launch. Those DODs who I can see are very nervous. We will do a feasibility study, and we will figure out what is feasible from our donor base and from our people in the surrounding region that can help us. But we will design a fundraising campaign, and all of you will be able to have the opportunity to submit what you would like to see, what efforts you would like to see those go toward. That's where I'm headed. Tired yet? I am. It's great. I would like to bring up John Anderson, and he's going to talk about the academic world and where he's headed this year. John.
President Benson, thank you very much. We look forward to serving under your leadership and look forward to many great years ahead. I look forward to the opportunity of talking with you in detail this afternoon about what we're doing in the academic side of the institution and how we're helping every day to help students become better, become brighter, and more able to contribute to the communities where they live and where they serve. A few highlights that I'll give you at this point. As the President mentioned, we are reconvening the Strategic Planning Committee to review the document, to review the metrics, and try to make sure that we're clear as an institution that we have a strategic statement of value, that every student or potential student, wherever they are in the country or in the world, will know by the language we use what we are as an institution, what value will be added to their life if they choose to come here, and then when they're here as a student, they have the opportunity to feel that value, that personalized learning environment that the President talked about. We'll work that through the strategic planning process. We'll have a document that will be transparent that everyone will know, and that document will guide institutional decisions moving forward. And so we'll be true to that institution that we say we are, and we're able to continually deliver the academic experience that we want to make sure that every student has. This year, we're also going to expand our leadership team. We have 2 dean searches we'll be conducting, one for the College of Sciences, and Dean Sean Christiansen has let us know that this will be his last year serving in the College of Education and Human Development. So we'll be searching for those 2 positions to fill in the leadership team this coming year. We really hope to expand our ability to not only work within our own silos, but to work across disciplines and between disciplines to find out how we can create this or use the scholarship model that we have to help benefit disciplines outside of our own. So we're going to intentionally try to build those relationships and put processes in place to make sure that we're sharing the best ideas so that if someone's successful somewhere, everyone can know it and most of us can copy it. So that's to be a big part of what we do this coming year. And there we go. We also want to make sure, and we had about a 5-hour retreat with all our academic leaders yesterday. And we talked at length about what our work as leaders consists of and how we can use that work to better improve the student experience here at SUU. We focused that on 3 specific areas. One of them is the question of strategy. And we'll continue to reemphasize these 3 throughout the year. The strategic question really is, how is your division area program interacting with other areas on campus? Are we insular and focusing on ourselves, our own numbers, our own needs? Or are we working collectively to make sure that we are building those intentional relationships so that we can have stronger collaborations? That's the strategic question. We're going to continue in the academic affairs area to work on operations. How are we using the resources we have efficiently? How do we operate together to make sure that students know what they can receive. We're delivering the classes on time in the modes they need. We're delivering academic programs the way that they have, and we're coordinating with advisors and all of those pieces, that our operational plans are implemented and successful. And the third part that we're going to continue to work on this year is making sure, as the president mentioned, that we build healthy cultures in every entity within the academic enterprise, that people feel like they belong, that they have a place at the table, they're part of every conversation, and the decisions that are being made are transparent so they can engage everyone in helping us build this and strengthen this academic enterprise. Also this fall, we already have on campus our first, in 125 years, our first cohort of doctoral students. The PsyD has been launched. We have 10 students on campus. We'll add 10 more each year for the next 4 years. So that's a very exciting part of the academic mission and its expansion this year. And I know at times it's very intriguing to launch massive new initiatives on a regular basis. We're going to talk a lot about this afternoon about what we hope to accomplish, and that is this year I hope we can just have a normal, ordinary academic year. So those are our major areas of focus for this coming year, and thank you for the opportunity to share those with you.
You know, I need a new picture. That was when I was trail running last year and malnourished. And I remember something behind that picture. I went to Nate Christian, who worked for me, and I said, could you do something about those wrinkles? Could you just Photoshop them out or something? And I'll never forget what he said. I already did. That's a true story. Nate no longer works with us. Actually, he's right there. I've been in higher ed 30 years, and I have been at SUU 25 years on that cabinet. And there are two words I never was sure I would be able to say. Two simple, consequential, but elusive words. And I'm so excited to be able to say this morning, officially, those two words, Madam President. Doesn't that sound great? 125 years. It's about damn time. Pardon my French. Edit that out. All right, we got some business to transact. Don't let this slide scare you. But I don't think it comes as news to you that we've been on a growth front for the last 8 years. We've averaged 9.4% growth. I read just the other day from David Bishop that ranks us 7th in the country among master's levels universities. And I know that took a lot of effort. And I also know, and we recognize, that it exerted a price for many of you. Many faculty and staff have borne the brunt of growth. I also know we'd rather be talking about the problems of growth than the problems of declining enrollment and budget cuts. I do know that. But I also recognize, and we recognize, that our growth outpaced the resources that we needed on campus. And we also know it outpaced the beds in our community. For the last 2 years, we've had to really stifle our enrollments, particularly in the summer, just before fall. So this year, while we have grown 75% over the last 8 years, we anticipate that this year, due to bedding shortages, we will end up at the end of the semester fairly flat. Now, that's, to me, good and bad news. The silver lining behind that is that the in-state, well, I should say the face-to-face students that are down a little bit were mostly our full rides. So it shouldn't have any revenue impact. But as the president said, we are going to work together as a campus to find that sustainable growth that we can handle as a campus and that our community can also handle. And I look forward to working with you as we do that. Let me show you what's happened in our online growth. As you know, we really just got serious about it in 2019. And we anticipate ending this semester at nearly 2,700 students. I want to thank all of you, not only the enrollment team, but the faculty and staff that are all engaged in expanding our online. Think about what that does for students that can't come to campus. And it provides not only an accessible, but also an affordable option for many, many people to receive an SUU education. Just as a quick update, we've got students from every state, from every county, 70 foreign countries. And you know, we're back to pre-pandemic numbers in terms of international students on our campus, and that makes me happy. As you can see, our biggest markets are Utah, Nevada, and California, and we hope to expand that, but we'll discuss that as part of our strategic planning process. We actually took money from our full ride scholarships and put it for the first time into a Diversity Promise scholarship. $500,000 went to that. Jason Matlock oversaw that. 204 students are the recipients of that. For many, many years, we've only awarded scholarships to those that received it based on merit, not on need. And we had such success with this program that the cabinet has decided to up that from $500,000 to $750,000. We're excited about that. Yeah. So, as President Benson has shared, she would like us to launch a new strategic enrollment planning process. I invite anyone that wants to join in this effort to join with us. We will certainly have representatives from academics, from student affairs, and all across campus to think about how much do we want to grow face-to-face? How much do we want to grow in-state versus out-of-state versus international? And what's the shape of that class? We want to think about online and where do we get those students and what kind of programs do we want to bring them into and what kind of price options do we want to make available to them. This is going to be important because 50% of our revenue comes from enrollment, tuition. And as you know, there's a demographic cliff that's coming. And there's going to be more and more competition for students as some face their peril and perhaps their demise if they don't grow. And so join with me in what will be, I think, an exciting planning process. Let me wrap up by talking about advancement. They've had a wonderful year, raised $9.5 million from over 2,000 donors. And I think about 750 are even new donors. Is that right, Chris? Those donors gave to over 400 scholarships. We recently received an airplane. Where's our aviation folks? How about a new airplane? I'm told it doesn't fly. They had to take the motors off. Thank you all, both the advancement staff, the deans, faculty, all that are engaged in fundraising. It makes a difference. And as the president said, she wants to launch a new campaign. We finished our last campaign in 2014, and that was $100 million. So there is a big effort ahead, and we will hold a feasibility study, or conduct a feasibility study. We'll talk to our major stakeholders. We'll look as an institution of whether we have the infrastructure and what it'll take to get ready. We'll make sure that our donors support and love the projects that are our highest priority. So we have a lot going on. I invite you to join with us, and let's make a difference in the next decade to come. Thank you.
Thanks, Stu, and John, and President. So, I am honored to work with an incredible group of people in the Division of Student Affairs, about 130 folks who work really hard to support the academic mission of this institution and to help our students be successful not only in the classroom but out of the classroom. We got together as a group last week. We celebrated our successes. We talked about our future and where we're going. And I'm really excited for the upcoming year, and I know they are as well. I want to thank them publicly again here in this setting. One of the things, though, that is on the minds of many of us the most and particularly those of us in student affairs who interact with students in sometimes more intimate moments, in our offices or in the hallways or wherever it might be, is the issue that we all know students are dealing with, and that is mental health. I know in talking with colleagues, faculty members, everyone around campus, that they feel that as well. And so we have had a task force working really hard for about a year now, trying to put together a comprehensive campus-wide effort to support students in their mental health needs. We know that students coming to campus are only going to, the numbers will only increase that need that support. And so I am pleased today to talk a little bit about the Thriving Thunderbird initiative that we have launched. And what's so exciting to me about this is not only our students will have access to most of these, or to all of these resources, but you, our faculty, our staff, all employees will also have access to these same resources. I'm going to go ahead and share a video that has been produced by our good colleagues on campus, and then afterward I'll talk for a quick minute about it, but I think this will explain even better than I can where we're headed.
Southern Utah University is excited to share with you the Thriving Thunderbird initiative, our new comprehensive mental health strategy. We have added several new high-quality resources and have revamped our entire approach. As a result, we are better equipped to meet the holistic needs of our students. As we all know, students often experience a wide range of challenges while enrolled in school. Sometimes these challenges are temporary and may be more easily addressed. And other times, these challenges can be more severe and long-lasting. We know these issues can often be difficult and uncomfortable to address. To assist, we've created 2 new websites, one that is for faculty and staff, which we call our Big Red Folder website, and a second site for students, SUU.edu Mental Health. The Big Red Folder website has been designed to help all SUU employees navigate these important conversations with students. On this site, you will find tips on how to recognize signs of distress, how to approach students, how to report an immediate or urgent concern, and other important information.
As JC mentioned, we have launched the website suu.edu/mental health and are implementing a 3-tiered mental health approach, identified in green, yellow, and red, to help students, faculty, and staff better understand and navigate the resources available for the different levels of concern. Please know that you can always contact our Counseling Center, the Dean of Students Office, or our Health and Wellness Center for additional guidance as you support students. All of these offices are prepared to help you connect students with the appropriate resources. The website will be updated frequently as new services, resources, and information become available. Please refer to it often, share it with students, and consider bookmarking it. Additionally, you'll be able to find these resources through the SUU app and by using the button in your SUU portal.
Students in the green or low tier may be experiencing some challenges, but are generally doing okay. We consider this category to include challenges that are normal for most college students, such as homesickness, procrastination, lower levels of stress and anxiety, navigating relationships, and difficulties adjusting to college life. Resources in the green tier are designed to give students the tools and knowledge they need to help themselves. New to SUU is TAO, which stands for Therapy Assistance Online. This is a website full of self-help educational materials to help folks better understand and learn strategies to improve their overall mental health. Another wonderful resource is Trula Campus, which provides free wellness coaching with trained peers. And finally, you might direct students to our CAPS Mental Health Toolkit, which is a wonderful resource of self-help tools compiled by our very own counselors. Links to these great resources in the green tier can be found on the website suu.edu/mental health.
When students are in yellow or moderate tier, the challenges they are experiencing are now starting to interfere with normal life activities. They may be missing classes, withdrawing from activities and relationships, or engaging in behaviors that are harmful. Resources in the yellow tier provide enhanced support to address these challenges. SUU's Counseling and Psychological Services, or CAPS, will continue to provide high-quality services with licensed mental health professionals who specialize in student development issues. CAPS is right here on campus, though demand may be high at times, so students may need to wait for an opening. New resources in this category include Together All, an online peer-to-peer support community focused on mental health challenges. Also in the yellow tier are the mental health support peers, trained peer mentors right here at SUU for students experiencing mental health challenges. And finally, we would highly recommend that students access Timely Care, a 24/7 virtual mental health service provider. Through Timely Care, students can connect immediately with a counselor using their Talk Now service and can schedule individual sessions with a licensed therapist within 48 hours. Information about how to access these helpful services can be found at suu.edu/mentalhealth.
Students in the red or high tier need support immediately. They may be experiencing mental health challenges that are life-threatening or significantly impacting their ability to engage in normal life activities. Resources in the red tier connect students with professional mental health care. There are some wonderful hotlines and resources, such as dialing 988 or the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, the Trevor Project Lifeline, and Utah's own Safe UT app. Details and phone numbers for these services can be found on our website. We would also recommend that students utilize the Timely Care 24/7 service that was mentioned previously and can be accessed anytime. Of course, we always invite students on campus to visit us in the Counseling Center, where our on-campus counselors are prepared to help students with the mental health challenges they may be experiencing. And finally, the Dean of Students Office and the Health and Wellness Center are also ready to help you navigate any and all of these resources, so you can better be equipped to help your students. Just like the other categories, links to the resources for those students in red can be found at suu.edu/mental health.
In the coming months, you will have multiple opportunities to learn more about the Thriving Thunderbird Initiative. We encourage you to attend trainings and workshops that will be offered throughout the year. As a campus, it is important that we take student well-being seriously and take the appropriate steps when we recognize signs of distress in a student. If you feel uncomfortable with the situation, please reach out to the Dean of Students Office or Counseling Center for assistance. You can also make an anonymous report by clicking Report a Concern on our campus safety website.
President Benson, on behalf of all of the faculty and staff and students, I really want to thank you for your commitment to mental health and safety and success of all of our campus. I'm so excited about these new mental health resources that we're bringing to campus, but it wouldn't be possible without your support. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Jared. I appreciate that. You know how important this is to me. It's been a priority since I got in this position. I'm excited to see the progress and the improvement in the mental health of our campus. I appreciate all the work that you and your team and your task force have done to make this happen and to bring us to where we are today. I'm most excited that not only do our students have access to this, but our faculty and our staff, everybody who's on campus, can take advantage of TAO, Together All, and Timely Connect to ensure that they have access to mental health support. We're excited about that, and I appreciate the work you've done to make it happen.
Well, you're welcome. It's truly been a team effort. I'd like to thank everyone for taking a few minutes to view our video today, this overview of all of the resources that we're bringing to campus. I think it will be really helpful to our students, and I'm excited that our faculty and staff also have access to these great resources. I really hope everyone will take advantage of them.
I do too, and I want everyone to know how appreciative I am that we can work together side by side to make SUU the very best place that it can be for our faculty, staff, and our students. Thank you all.
I hope that makes sense. But let me distill it down even a little more simply. When students come to your office or grab you in the hallway and they're struggling, basically, just for a quick minute, try to assess, are they in the green? They're having a bad day. Are they in the yellow? They're having a few bad days. Or are they in the red and they need some immediate help? And then we can get them to the appropriate resources on campus. You don't have to be a therapist. We don't expect you to be a therapist. I'm not one either. But we have the resources available on campus as well as through our third-party providers that were outlined in this video. Let me explain them in just a little bit more detail. TAO is an online world of tons of resources. No matter the issues or challenges you're facing, you can go to their website and find wonderful resources and tips to support you through those challenges, our students and you as well. Together All, the second one that was mentioned, is, for lack of a better description, think of Reddit. Many of you will spend time on Reddit, an anonymous world of interactions and conversations and discussions. Together All is an online anonymous discussion world where you can go and talk about all sorts of challenges related to mental health. There are hundreds and hundreds of college campuses that are in the Together All network, and every single chat or discussion is monitored by a licensed therapist. And then they will engage with individuals and support them and provide them with resources or connect them back to our campuses or the appropriate campus, wherever that student is coming from. The third piece that we have contracted with is this Timely Care company. They are a network of therapists, professional counselors, who you can engage with through either phone, text, or video conferencing and have therapy sessions with them. They also offer 24/7 resources, so you can call anytime when you're having a bad day and they'll connect you or our students with a therapist. All students and employees at the university have access to 9 therapy sessions each academic year. We're really excited about that. This little button that you see on the screen here will begin showing up in lots of places. It's already in the just the SUU app. It's in the SUU portal. It's on every single Canvas page, and it will begin to show up in other places around campus, so that if you're looking for that website with the green, yellow, and red resources outlined, you can click on that and go there anytime. Looking forward to a great year. We're here to support you. We will do a lot more training to campus, but don't hesitate to reach out to the Counseling Center, the Dean of Students Office, or the Health and Wellness Center at any time. We're here to support you and your students as they work through some of life's challenges that are quite normal for all of us. Thanks. Looking forward to a great year.
Thank you. That's an amazing resource. I'm really excited that we have that happening this year. Touch your nose if you're awake. Good job, everyone. I'm glad to see that most of us are awake. I am really excited, a little bit overwhelmed, but really anxious to get started on the good work that we get to do as a campus on equity, diversity, inclusion, and belonging. As the newest member of cabinet, sometimes I think it's still kind of in the air, what does a chief diversity officer do? And while a lot of my position and a lot of my focus is going to be on figuring out who has been at the margins of the work that we do and pulling them in, my job really is to help extend, amplify, and deepen the good work that is happening in each one of your areas. And so you know, that will be my focus as I go into cabinet and think about the strategies and the priorities that we need to have. My work is to make sure that when we think about us, we know who all of us are, and we're designing intentionally to make sure that all of our students, all of our employees, and our community partners are having engaged, intentional, and important experiences here at SUU. So I'm really excited, and I want to say thank you to all of you as well. It's been a really great first 16 months, and there's been so much work that's been done, so I'm excited to kind of continue to garner all of that energy into some momentum in one direction. So I'm going to go through some highlights. I was given 5 minutes, and I'm going to do it in 4. So when I got here a few months ago, one of the things that I understood that we needed to do was kind of assess where we are, what are our strengths, where do we have areas of improvement, and what it came down to is that we have so much good intent, lots of people doing work already, but we still have some spaces where we need a little bit more of understanding across campus. What do we mean when we're talking about equity? What's the difference between diversity and inclusion? Are these efforts that we're hoping to have actually impactful? So we took some time to kind of look at that, and we come to find out that there's two big things that we need right now on campus. One, resources to understand what we're doing, and two, some infrastructure to get it done. We've got a lot of people doing great things, but it's kind of hard to get everybody going in the same direction. So one of the things that we were able to do last year is to develop a university committee for equity and inclusion. And that committee has been busy, which I'll talk about in a minute, but to also have an EDI council. That council consists of many of your colleagues who are working on equity work in your space. We went from having 3 college or unit level committees to now being at 13 in 16 months. So this council's job is to pull that work together, share best practices, and make sure that we're working in tandem towards a common goal, which I'm really excited about. Most of you have been in events where you've heard our land acknowledgement. We worked really hard with community partners and the Paiute Indian Tribe of Utah to develop a land acknowledgement statement that is open to anyone on our campus to utilize in your syllabi, at your events, up to your discretion. That is something that is available to you as you see fit, but we always want to make sure that as we continue to grow and to recognize who our partners are, that we do that intentionally, and we do that, I'll leave it at intentionally. So that land acknowledgement has been a really great cooperative kind of feat, and again, it's here as a resource for you. And there's also lots and lots of things happening with Paiute Tribe. There's a language preservation project that's happening in the College of Humanities and Social Sciences. There's tons of grant work that's coming out of the College of Science, and I know a lot of other projects that are happening across campus, which is really fantastic. So this year, as we go forward, here are some things that I'm looking forward to, and I hope you are too. We are planning a summit on belonging, and that will be October 25th and 26th. That's a Tuesday and a Wednesday. We didn't have it on a Friday on purpose because we know sometimes people go to a summit and go out the door. So it's going to be on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and it's intentionally planned so that a lot of those sessions repeat. So if people are teaching or they're busy on one day, they're able to come the next day. The theme for this is called Everyday Equity. And the goal of this summit is to have a space where we're able to hear each other's stories, share best practices, and learn about what we can do on our campus and the folks who we interact with to really continue to work to have an increasingly inclusive space. Each one of the sessions is designed that you'll have at least 3 takeaways of things that you can implement in your space the next day. So we really want to make this usable and accessible and relevant to the work that you're doing. And that, again, I'm really excited about, and that'll be something that's coming up in a couple of months. So please save the date, and you may have an email already waiting in your inbox to save the date. Also, we are working, and I say we, I mean the Inclusion and Equity Committee, are working really hard to provide a resource library so that people can do their own learning on their own time. We are developing a badging, some badging so that people can have that kind of recognition of when they have been trained, and so that's something that we're working on. The Inclusion Advocates is a program that is really important to our campus. We are growing quickly. Like President Benson said, we have 61 new faculty members who have joined us in 1 year. And in addition, we have staff that are joining us. The Inclusion Advocates program will actually help in our search process. There's a lot of moving parts in our search. And these are going to be folks who are trained to help us make sure that we're following non-discrimination laws, that we're thinking about how we can search wider for talent to come and be a part of SUU, how we make sure that that whole process is inclusive, and how we make sure that it's consistent across each one of our searches. So I'm working really closely with HR to develop that, which will be something that we should be able to launch in January. And lastly, Community Conversations. Community Conversations is a series that we'll be launching out of our office with the help of our PsyD interns to have some spaces where we can have some difficult conversations on our campus. We want to know how we're doing. We want to make sure that if there's things that need to be expressed or there are experiences that people are having on our campus or in our community that we can improve, that we know about it and that we're hearing about those experiences right from the individuals who are having them. So those community conversations will be regular conversations just to talk about topics that we may need some help to talk about in a really positive way, and that will be another series to make sure that we have spaces where we can stay connected and that we're really thinking about intentionally what is going to help us get to belonging for our whole campus. And so I'm really excited. There's a lot to do. It's all in startup stage, and some of you will probably be getting tapped or called to help with this effort, but it's been amazing to be here already for these 16 months, to feel how many folks are already engaged in this and are willing to engage. And so I thank you in advance for your help to continue to push this work forward. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a little humbling to stand here before you and think about all the amazing people that are here on this campus, all the good work that's done, and I can't help but think about all those that have had an impact on my life. And as President Benson started to talk about a shared vision, creating that shared vision, I can't help but wonder, what is it that we can all accomplish as we come together with that vision? What we can accomplish and what we can do. And I'm excited. I don't know if you're excited, I hope you are, but athletics can be a vital part of that, and we want to be a vital part of that. We want to help drive campus initiatives and do those types of things. But I am humbled to be here, I really am, to talk about something that I've had a love for almost my entire life. As far as I can remember, athletics rooted me into this campus and is part of the reason why I've come back and have chosen to stay here for as long as I have and want to continue to stay here. But I want to tell you about all the good things that are going on in athletics and allow you to cherish and revel in the things that are being accomplished, because you are all a vital part of what our student athletes and our coaches and our staff are able to accomplish. So with that, we're going to get into a little bit of fun here.
For 125 years, Southern Utah athletics has had a rich history filled with great success and unforgettable moments. Throughout these years, championships have been won and school spirit has thrived. There have been many changes, from Broncos to the Thunderbirds, teal and coral to red and white. For the past 10 years, we have flown high in the sky, but now our path leads westward to a new territory filled with old and new foes alike. As this next chapter unfolds, we look forward to the challenges that lie on the road ahead and to creating new rivalries as well as reigniting historical ones. A thunderstorm is brewing in the wild, wild west, and lightning is preparing to strike.
Thank you, I like that, okay? I'm glad we're getting some applause there. I think nothing's gonna start off, hit the next click. This is where we are. We have to understand this is our future. This is where we're going. We cannot look back on where we were. We have to look where we are going. The world of collegiate athletics is changing. It's changing fast, and it's changing faster every day. Our commitment to you and to this institution and our student athletes is to make sure we are doing everything we can to be driving force in being competitive in every aspect we can. There is no question about it that the Western Athletic Conference brings to us some serious challenges. The competition level is stronger than any conference we've been in, and you're going to see that play out here in the facilities that we have. We want you to come and support us, but understand this. Our job is to do the best that we can do so that as this landscape continues to change and evolve, we are in a position to be a valued commodity that is sought after rather than a group that is trying to find a place to land. I think under the direction of President Benson, her leadership team, the coaches and the staff that we have here, we can accomplish that, and we will be something that people want to have be a part of their conference as things continue to change. But we need to be in the driver's seat, and I think we have the right people in the right places to be able to do that. Speaking on that, here are some of the good things that are happening on our campus. This past year, we graduated 96 student athletes. That's almost a third of our student athletes from this past year earned a degree. We have an NCAA graduation rate of 82%. The Flippin' Birds, always the academic standard that we hold. That's kind of a tough one to live up to, but Coach Bauman and his staff continue to have positive student athletes come through and accomplish great academic things. And that is something that needs to be celebrated. There's one that I really want to touch on because I think this is important and it really shows the work that's being done here on this campus. And this is the young lady, Dari Dotson, was the Big Sky nomination for Woman of the Year. And I want you to understand, when you are leaving a conference, that conference does not want to support you in any efforts or anything that you do. They're happy to see you go, and they want to make sure that the awards and the things that they accomplish and celebrate are with the teams that are staying with them. So the fact that they looked at Dari Dotson, looked at her academic accomplishments, looked at everything that happened, because we as an institution had the opportunity to submit 2 names, that the conference peers of a conference we are leaving looked at what this individual had accomplished here on our campus and decided that is who we want to represent us when we submit a name to the national conference for recognition. Other academic accomplishments, we had 4 track and field student athletes receive all academic honors, which is big. 137 student athletes on the Big Sky Conference, all academic teams, and soccer, softball, and volleyball all earned team academic awards for their individual coaches' societies. Some other highlights as we get into the athletic ones. Allison Prey was the first All-American in our women's cross-country program history at the NCAA level. Braxton Jones was drafted to President Benson's Chicago Bears. Yes, that's a great one to think of. Men's cross-country finished 24th in the country this year. That's over all of the NCAA Division I institutions that sponsor men's cross-country, which is around 300 plus teams. Men's basketball finished with a 23-12 and had an impressive run in the Basketball Classic tournament, which was a fun event. But more importantly, over the past 2 years, our men's basketball program has the best winning percentage in the state of Utah. Think about that. Southern Utah University's men's basketball program has the best winning percentage in the state of Utah over the past 2 years. That is big. Women's basketball finished with an 18-12, finished a strong solid in the Big Sky Conference. Gymnastics set their new record on the road of a 197 flat. 3 athletes took first place in the indoor championship. Track and field, Nate Osterstock finished 13th in the country, and Lizzie White finished 15th in the country in their individual events. What is our commitment to you? From athletics, while I'm here, what our commitment to you is this. We are going to better engage in the daily lives of our students while they're on campus. We want to be a part of what they experience while they're here at Southern Utah University. And we want to do that while striving to continue to support and drive the initiatives of campus. We want this to be a successful place, and we want to be involved in every aspect of it and want you to be involved in our area as well. So with that, please remember, each of you have a faculty staff ticket benefit. That is that on the day of competition for any event that we hold, you are able to go and pick up 2 complimentary admissions to the event of that day. We want to see you there. We want to see you cheering on our student athletes just as you see us coming onto campus and engaging with you and cheering on the students on their daily accomplishments. Thank you.
Oh, going last and talking about budget, how boring can we get? Thanks, Mindy. As you can tell, I am not Marvin Dodge. My name is Mary Jo Anderson. I'm the Director of Planning and Budget. And Marvin was unavailable to be here today because he's on vacation in Hawaii. and I'm here. So, we'd like to talk a little bit about the budget process this year for fiscal year 23. Even though we say it's fiscal year 23, it's really for funding that will start July 1st. So it's really for funding that would begin fiscal year 24. I know, confusing. The administration would like to invite campus to submit budget requests this year focused on bridging the gaps or the pressure points created by recent growth. We've talked a lot about growth. We've put a lot of money into new initiatives. Administration has recognized that and want to have you have the opportunity to talk about what that growth has done to your individual areas. What could be made better to deal with all of that. New initiatives, of course, will still be entertained, but it appears that the focus should really be on catching up, taking a breath, having a full academic year where we just have normal. The budget requests are due November 1st. The budget form is, of course, on the Budget Office website. We are incredibly creative. It's under Budget Forms/Budget Office. And then under the E&G funding request, you'll see that there are both the instructions and the new E&G funding request Google form that you can submit. The great thing is we finally, Google Forms has updated it so that once you start it, you now have 30 days to go back and finish it so you just don't lose all of your work every time you close out. So that will be a win. We want all the budget documents and forms requests should be back to the budget office by November 2nd. At that point, we will then take all of those, compile them, submit them to your respective VPs who will then sit down and prioritize those requests. I assume we're still doing, in January, there'll be a public forum where they'll talk about those prioritized requests and why and how they determined those lists. Of course, we don't know if we have funding yet. So I've been asked to talk a little bit about what the new E&G funding sources are. So first we have the state-funded performance. Thank you. Kenton's got me. He said yesterday, keep the microphone up so that people can hear you. We can turn you down, but we can't turn you up. And I thought, dang, don't tell my family that. So state-funded performance, if it's approved by the state legislature, we receive the funds if we meet our goals in access, affordability, workforce alignment, and persistence and completion. There's no guarantees. USHE, however, this year has asked for $40 million. SUU's share of that would be approximately 6.6%. But for context, last year they asked for $35 million and only got 30. So again, I know I'm being the downer here, but don't count on it until we actually see it. Our next pot of money from state appropriations is state-funded growth. So each year, USHE requests money for growth. Growth is really complicated. You'd think it would be just, did we grow? Yes, we should get a lot of money. But they are now looking at it as an increase in annualized resident undergraduate budget-related FTE in increments of 100 in 3 different categories. The formula for this takes like 2 pages. I'm sure Marvin would have showed it to you, but I want everyone to actually stay awake. Sorry. He's not here to defend himself, and now I'm going to be in trouble. Now I lost my train of thought. See, this is my problem, is I'm sidetracked by anything bright and shiny, and I keep seeing something over there and going, ooh, what is that? So then we have, so our measurements for performance are based off of a calendar year. So they look at spring, summer, and then fall of this year. But we have to submit numbers to them by September 1st through our institutional research office. So we're submitting guesstimates of what we think fall is going to look like, because of course we haven't even started fall by the time they request these numbers. We did receive $3.2 million last year in growth. So all of that growth, I know it's been hard, but we do get rewards from it. We've been able to hire 61 new faculty, and we have more requested for this year. So it does there are some positives to growth. Our last pot of money is the overall institutional growth. So this is money that we realize within the institution itself. So it's the additional revenue, tuition revenue we receive over the previous year's base budget. So we have to take gross tuition, of course immediately back out waivers, and then that amount of funding over what we budgeted is our institutional growth. The reason this money is important is because this is what usually is slated to cover all of these institutional budget requests. The biggest question, though, that I'm going to get is probably, but what about salaries? Where does that money come from? So salary funding is a completely separate appropriation through the state. It's based on our prior year actual labor costs. So the state will come up with a COLA number and say, I should say a COLA equivalent. I keep getting in trouble for that. They will say, okay, we're going to give a 6% increase like we did last year, but SUU, you have to cover 25% of that. So that funding in of itself also comes from that overall institutional growth. So growth is not terrible. I know I give Stu grief, but growth is good. All of these amazing opportunities we have come with timelines. The performance-based funding is due August 15th. So a lot of our faculty are not even back on campus by the time we have to submit what our priorities are going to be if we receive that funding. Our growth funding is due usually within a few days after they give us our numbers on September 1st, but no later than September 15th. And finally, our institutional funding that we recognized in here, we do a review in April, try to come up with an estimate of what we think is going to happen for summer, and then give that number to cabinet to start making the hard decisions. Whew. Is everybody still awake? I know this is the worst part. Yep, everybody's got their nose. Thank you, James. Yeah, James has to listen to me every day, so I'm impressed that he is still awake. So I'm going to talk about one thing that has nothing to do with budget. I was supposed to touch on, this is our beautiful budget process timeline. It is huge, it is massive. It will be in the memo that comes out to campus inviting everyone to participate in the budget request process. I will let you read it because that is just way too much. But now I'm going to talk about Chick-fil-A. Yeah. I have been told that Chick-fil-A will be open 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. after the new semester starts, so you will now be able to get dinner before you go home. And they now have online ordering. Now, just so you know, it is through the SUU dining app. It is a little daunting at first to set up, but I managed to do it. And as my office will tell you, I'm the most technologically deficient person in the office. And if I can do it, anybody can. And I've actually ordered online twice from my office, walked down, picked it up immediately. It is amazing. So I will end it with Chick-fil-A being open. Back to you, Minnie.
Happy day we get Chick-fil-A. Look, I rhymed. Isn't that fabulous? I would like you all to stand up and take a quick stretch break while we come through the home stretch. All right, that feels good. And while you're moving, I'm going to invite Abigail Larson, our Faculty Senate President and faculty member, to come up to stage, and Jason Matlock, our Staff Association President, to come up on stage. Abby, you're up next, so take a mic and chat. Jason, join on the couch, cozy up.
All right. You guys don't all have to stand for me. Thank you, though. Thank you. I just want to say welcome to all the new faculty that we have. We hope you find a home here in Cedar City, and especially within our campus community. It's a great place to be. The longer I'm here, the more I like it, the more involved I get, the more I like the people I work with. Really, we have a lot of supportive entities on campus, so take advantage of those resources, and more importantly, get to know the people within those entities. This is a terrible junior high picture from a bad yearbook. I was supposed to, so last Wednesday I was supposed to get my picture redone, but I couldn't make it there on time because I had to get in a run instead, and so this is my punishment for, okay, Faculty Senate. My purpose is to listen to faculty and communicate faculty concerns with administration. And also, my purpose is to work with staff and kind of get a feel for overall on campus what we want to accomplish and achieve and collaborate with others and move forward on those new policies and then celebrate our successes. I really have a lot of appreciation for how many moving parts that there are on this campus and how everyone really does need to work together to move things forward. Faculty Senate has really evolved over the last several years. I'm going into my 11th year now here, and I was on Faculty Senate probably about 8 years ago, and really it's evolved into an entity where faculty is really heard and we're listened to, and action comes from what we recommend, which is a great place to be. It's a great place to be. And I finally feel like now, after the last 2.5 years, we can take a step back, finally start to breathe again, and think about where we want to go. I feel like the last couple of years, we've been sort of in a place of triage, and now we can get back to a place of purposeful planning for long-term goals. So I'm really anxious to hear from all of you about how you want to move us forward. What policies do we need to look at? How can we improve faculty efficacy as well as faculty morale, which of course improves efficacy, so that we can be better teachers in the classroom, so that we can be better colleagues, so that we can make this campus community a place that we really want to be. So really, my purpose is to listen to you, to communicate, collaborate, and get stuff done. Last year, we were able to, despite COVID, we were able to make some significant progress on faculty salary compensation, filling in some of those hot spots and gaps. Also, the Child Development Center, and we also, within the last couple of years, have put in maternity policy leave, maternity and paternity policy leave into place. So my predecessor, Raina Gardner, has really done a lot of work on that, and your Faculty Senate President-elect, Kelly Goonan, has had a large role in developing those policies as well. So I'm really proud of what we've been able to accomplish and hope that I can continue on that forward momentum. And now I'll introduce Jason Matlock, who is SUU Staff Association.
Appreciate it. Hey, good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, that's what's up. Well, my name is Jason Matlock. I'm the Staff Association President for SUU for this year. And real quick before we start, can we give a round of applause to our amazing president and our amazing cabinet members? Honestly, they've done a tremendous job of making sure that staff voices are prioritized and heard. And we're making a lot of strides through Staff Association to make sure that we engage with our staff at a meaningful level. I came to SUU 11 years ago, and in my time here, I fell in love with our campus, our culture, and just the amazing community that we have. And I know a lot of us feel that same way. We care deeply about this university. However, in my role and in your experiences, I know that there's much more that we can do to improve our staff experience at this institution. Now, I want to let you know that under President Benson's leadership, she has consistently asked for staff feedback, what staff are feeling, and many of you have let us know that you're having pressures dealing with departmental staffing, dealing with mental health issues, having a need or necessitation for greater work-life balance and flexibility in your roles. And this is something that we communicated to President Benson directly. She wants to know exactly what you're thinking and feeling and what you prioritize. Now with that, I wish to encourage you to engage with Staff Association. You all have divisional representation who are there to advocate on your behalf and make sure that you have a channel to voice your priorities. Please utilize them and make sure that your voice is heard in all aspects. Now, I do also want to let you know that there's a couple priorities this year for Staff Association that we're really trying to tackle. We're working with various groups on campus to develop professional development opportunities that are going to enrich your life and your role on campus. A couple of those groups include Human Resources, the Office of Teaching Innovation, Danica directly, and then also the Women's Network. So please be on the lookout for additional opportunities that are going to come your way to make your experiences better here. In addition to that, we have a policy committee who is actively looking at policies that are affecting our campus and making sure that staff voices and needs are being reflected in those policies. We're also working with Human Resources to suggest new policy issues and items that might be able to bring more opportunities to campus for your well-being. We have an Events and Wellness Committee along with that who is working to create some professional and social engagement opportunities that are going to allow you to create shared spaces with one another and also with our faculty, because breaking down silos and building that culture is a huge priority. And we know that when we're operating in different spheres, it can be difficult, but together, we're unstoppable. And that's the thing that we want to accomplish, is we want to make sure that we're moving in unison. So please, as you guys go throughout these next few months, please reach out to your divisional representation, reach out to myself. We really want to make sure that we're connecting you. And you're going to start to get email notifications from our Staff Association. Now, I know how tempting it can be, and I know a couple of you have told me this too, to see that archive button. Raise your hand if you like that archive button. All right. When you see Staff Association, try not to press that. Please read through them. I promise you that we're trying to provide relevant and useful information that's going to get you connected to campus events, upcoming initiatives, and also invitations to our meetings. In our roundtables and our board meetings, we're discussing a lot about what's going on with our staff on campus, but then we're also doing something new with Danica, where we're going to engage staff on how to communicate and have healthy conversations about DEI initiatives and things that are going on within our departments. And that's something that's impactful, because one of the things that has been shared is that it's very difficult to break down that barrier sometimes if you feel like you don't have that space. So what we're trying to do is create some shared spaces where we can be authentic. And when I think about SUU, the number one word that comes into my mind is authenticity. If I believe in anything at this institution, it's how authentic we can be and the authentic connections that we can create. So please, please join us as we continue to build momentum on our campus. You know, once again, I'm deeply humbled to be serving in this role. I care deeply about SUU, and I'm confident that under the direction of President Benson, we will continue to receive support, to be heard, and to continue making SUU an amazing institution. We can always be better than the day we were before. So thank you.
I need the clicker. Kenton's going to click. Great. Jason, you can come join us. Kenton's clicking. Thanks, Mary Jo. We have arrived at the place where we are finished and lunch awaits you. But I want to remind you of a couple of things. There is an HR survey coming out. Please fill that out. We want to hear from you. And we've talked today about how important it is that everyone has their voice. As you go out to lunch, which is on the library quad, we are giving you all a hydro flask, complete with the 125th mark, because we want you to get all your water and be hydrated and be very healthy. There's also a $10 gift card to Soda Nerd as part of that. So enjoy that. But you're going to fill it up with water, only water. In addition, we have our Utah Shakespeare Festival here. As you all know, it's a terrific festival. We've tried to find a day that worked, but there's so much happening on campus with classes that we want you to decide what play you want to go to and what day works for you. You will all receive 2 tickets to any production that you choose to attend of the Utah Shakespeare Festival between now and October 9th when they close. You will receive an email next week with instructions on how to obtain those tickets, and you will also receive 2 tickets to Repertory Magic as part of that. So all of you, watch for that email and go to the Utah Shakespeare Festival. We're appreciative to have them as part of our campus, and they are doing remarkable things, as are all of you. As I mentioned earlier, my leadership philosophy is people support what they help to create. We've talked about a lot of directions that we're going, but most of all, I want to decide together what you want SUU to be. We have an extraordinary opportunity to define our future together. That doesn't come along very often. I want everybody to be involved. I want every person to choose their seat at the table and to be involved in determining what SUU looks like going forward. We have launched a number of committees today. We are moving forward on finding our way. Please volunteer to be on any of those that make sense or committees that you see coming forward. As you've seen today, you have a voice in many different forms, whether it's Faculty Senate or the Staff Association or Member of Cabinet or Council, you have a voice. Please get involved and use that voice. To close out, I have a bracelet on that I often wear, and it says, "She believed she did, and I'm gonna start over. She believed she could, and so she did." I would like that to be a theme for our campus. We believed that we could, and so we did. Let's go do that this year. Together, let's have the best year that we have ever imagined and make the SUU the best place for all of us to be, faculty, staff, students. Thank you for everything that you do and all you do for SUU and for our students. Thank you for making SUU a great place, and I look forward to the best year we've ever had. With that, go eat lunch. It's on the library quad, and collect your swag. Thank you.
Great job, President.
Thank you.
Nice work.
Great job for all of you.